So I am happy to be here today. First of all, happy Tuesday. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. It is 8 o'clock, almost, actually, no, it's 9 a.m. In Los Angeles, California. And I had my 6 a.m. workout with my trainer, and I also headed over to the gym. There's a gym right by where I train at, because we train offsite. And oh wait, is that my friend? Oh, I thought I knew somebody. Um, anyway, so I went and did cardio, and then I got in the sauna and the steam room. And there's just so much I want to talk about when it comes to like mindfulness and getting your mind in a state where we're not self-sabotaging. Um, I think a lot of times we are defeating ourselves before we even get to even try to attain the goal. I want to get some water. I just bought a bunch of water from Target. I'm feeling parched. But yeah, guys, I really think that we do ourselves a dissatisfaction by going in to workouts, going into our day, whether it's, for work or, to we're an entrepreneur or, whatever you do with your days, going into it like, oh, I just want to get through this day. I got to just get through this workout. I can't wait till this workout's over. This is going to be torture. This is going to be, and what I want to challenge you guys to start doing, and I did it this morning. I'm really big. Oh, literally, I was working out and there was like, I was under a tree and there's all these like little leaves that ended up falling into my hair. But what I want you guys to do is start visualizing. So this morning I was like, oh my gosh, 6 a.m. because we usually do like 7:15, but it was like 6 a.m. sharp, ready to like get it going. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, if I go into it like that, I'm just gonna have a shitty workout. Straight up, I'm gonna have a poor workout. So I just like took a couple of breaths in and was like, okay, I really want to change my body. I really want to have a strong, fit, toned body. I just feel so good. Feeling like I'm gaining strength and seeing the results. And then of course, like as you're going toward these goals and you're eating healthier, when you're eating healthier, you have better foods that are fueling your body and fueling your brain. And then you perform better when it comes to interacting with people or in your job or career or whatever it is. So there's just like this whole connectedness that comes with it. So I just was like, okay, let me like back up and remember it's a privilege to be able to move my body because there's tons of people that can't, right? Like people that have disabilities and things like that, paralyzed, whatever, so it's number one, it's a privilege to even be able to work out. Number two, I calmed myself down and I just literally it was like a minute and 30 seconds. And I just closed my eyes. And this is like right when I popped my eyes open. I popped my eyes open at like 5 a.m. And then I pressed snooze, of course, till 5:08, which I'm trying to not do that, but that's a whole nother time, a whole nother conversation. But I did a minute and a half and I just closed my eyes and I just imagined myself going through the workout. And the parts that are torture are the most painful or the hardest, or where you feel like, oh my gosh, like this is just too heavy. My body just feels weird. I feel uncomfortable. This is stretching too far. I feel like I feel like I'm going to pull something. I just imagine myself like doing the workout and feeling that moment. And then I imagine myself like overcoming it and just like breathing, looking up at the trees, refocusing, looking up at the sky. There was a beautiful sunrise this morning. So I just focused my attention on the fact that there was a beautiful sunrise, the fact that I'm out in the breeze and the trees. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm just now I feel better. I'm going to go in, I'm going to be excited. So then I noticed, and so that now I get ready, I head to my workout. I'm now in the workout. I'm now at that moment where that workout is really tough. And I remember, because I had that quick little meditation, that quick little 5-minute visualization, it was like, that was my default mode. Instead of like, oh my gosh, I can't wait till this is done, and like my form starts to break, I got sturdier during that time. And I didn't even push through. I just like worked through it. Like, I didn't push through like in torture. I just was like, this is the moment, like this next 15 seconds of your life are the moments that are literally physically getting you to your goal, right? So I just wanted to get on here and just kind of like give you that quick tip about visualization. And you can really do it with anything. If you're gonna have to speak on, if like last minute they're like, we need you to speak, and you're like, oh my gosh, like what? Or maybe you're going into a situation, you're going to a social event and you're like, oh, I have social anxiety. Or you're going into the gym and you have gym anxiety. Or you're being put in a position where you're not as comfortable, whatever it is. But when you're not comfortable, when you're being stretched, just do a 60 to 90 seconds of just like calming yourself down, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, and just like imagine yourself going through the moment. So if it's like going into a social event and you're like kind of nervous, or you don't know really how to greet people, or you're like, I know I need to network, but I don't really, I get nervous when I have to approach people. Just have fun in your mind. It's just you. Like, no one else can see you doing that. Like, no one else can see you practicing in your mind what you have to do. So I remember when I used to work at my old job, I used to get really nervous when we had like a walkthrough from like a big boss, from like the head office. And now that I look back, I'm like, I laugh because I'm like, why was I so nervous? But I think that we can get in our head. And so, just like visualizing, okay, cool, the person's coming in. Visualize yourself like propping your shoulders back, head up, neck confident and exposed. You saying, greetings, saying hello, how are you? So happy that you're here. And then just like go through the moment, and then even notice that you might even get nervous in the visualization, but just imagine yourself getting through that moment, like just taking a couple breaths and just like pushing past it, working past it. And then when you come to it, I always think of like Kobe Bryant. Like, he talks about that a lot. Like, people be like, you're just so calm in like high stressful situations where it would be like, 3 seconds on the clock and it's double overtime and it's da, 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 da. And he would just be so calm. And he literally said it's because he kept doing it. He kept literally shooting the basketball over and over and over so many thousands to millions of times that it just was like, it was second nature to him. And, visualizing himself making the basket and things like that. So it's the same thing. It's like, you can do it. You can apply it to anything in life with mindfulness. If you know you're a nervous person, if you know that you are somebody, that wants to go after something, or you have an audition or something, just envision yourself getting through the moment. And regardless of what the outcome is, you just feel better, like seeing yourself go through that particular scenario. And you'll find that most of the time you have a higher probability of getting through that moment. And if you don't, if it still ends up being a flop, that's okay. It's like, it's literally just, we're just here experiencing, right? Like in this life, like we're experiencing, we're growing, we're failing, we're succeeding. It's just part of it. So literally, if you do end up doing the visualization and you're like, I still had a shitty workout, then maybe, there's other things to reevaluate. Or maybe you want to continue just repetition, continue just seeing yourself go through, evaluate, okay, why was it a bad workout? Was it, you were fatigued? Did you not get enough sleep? Did you not have a hearty enough meal? Did you work out on an empty stomach? And you're someone that needs to work out, while having something on your stomach. For me personally, I like to work out fasted. So I make sure to eat a really hearty, healthier meal, healthy meal the evening before. So I'll have like a healthy carb, protein, and like maybe like some fruit or something. And that's like a carb as well. But I'll have like brown rice, like some peas, and like some fruit, and like a protein shake. So I'll just do that. And I noticed that the next morning, like, I feel really good. I have energy. I personally don't like to like work out on a heavy stomach. Especially like there's different methods and different ways that you can do things, but if you are working out and doing like a heavy leg day, you do really benefit from eating like 30 to 45 minutes before, like something with high protein. And then by the time your body is metabolizing it, it's in time for your workout. And so if you can time it correctly and, you know, it works out within your eating window. Like I do intermittent fasting. So that's another thing. So I'm not going to necessarily wake up at 5 a.m., eat like a ton of protein, and then go work out. I'm just not even hungry. Like my body is just like, it likes to take the time in the beginning part of the day to just like continue to detox, continue to like wake up to the day, I guess you can say. So yeah, so I just wanted to get on here and really just drive that point home, about no more self-sabotage. If you are struggling with something, if you have to like get your mind right really quickly, just do a 60 to 90-second visualization, and you will more than likely at least 10 to 20% higher probability of like performing that particular scenario better, in you know, while in your real reality. So I noticed it today. I was like, I'm gonna do that. Why have I not been doing this intentionally every single day? I really like got through the workouts, and then I just like, when I was in the moment of just like, this is torture, and I felt like my form was going to start to like drop because I just was uncomfortable. The weight was really heavy. It was like, I was like, this is the moment. And then I like switched up and like corrected my body and just like embraced the fact that the weights were really heavy, and just like felt like, really put my mind into my body and just like felt all the muscles, like what muscles am I targeting? Okay. And then really feeling like how like the glute muscles, like how they, you know, are working. So I would like, eventually I'm going to just study like how all the different muscles move. But, and then by the time I was like focused on all that, the rep was done. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, so I just want to get on here really quickly and just, you know, really encourage you guys to do that. Implement some kind of visualization every single day if you are working on mindfulness when it comes to your fitness journey, health journey, just in life in general. Please make sure to like, subscribe, share. I love talking about all of these things. I just want to, when I see people getting better, it just like makes me shine. Like I feel like when I see other people shine, it shines me up. So especially after the pandemic, I mean, it just like our bodies just got so sedentary and just so, you know, we really have to like step it back up when it comes to using our bodies and not like letting them deteriorate at a faster rate than they should be. You should still have high energy really throughout your life. I mean, you know, if you're eating correctly, if you're moving your body, if you have a good state of mind, if you're intentionally trying to have a good state of mind, if you're doing the best that you can, if you're grateful for what, you know, grateful for the small things, grateful for the big things, grateful for your health, if you have compassion for others, kindness, I mean, it all just correlates, and you end up just accumulating so much energy that like you can get through your days, even when it's a bad day. You know, when it's a bad day, if you have a positive mind state, if you have a stronger positive outlook on the day, even a terrible situation, you have more of a you have your head like in a good headspace to be able to handle the tough situation, rather than being pissed off, being upset, blaming the world, doing the victim mentality, and then you just like handle the negative situation, even like making it even worse. So we're not saying that, you know, positive mindset. Sometimes people are like that, you know, we have to be realistic. Well, absolutely. Like you're facing issues and things that are coming at you left and right, right? Especially nowadays, like we have so much sensory going on. But if you are looking at it through the lens of positivity and optimism, you can then start to handle those situations a lot better, right? So like if somebody cuts you off on the freeway, you know, instead of like absorbing that and having that be your whole day, just look at it from a positive standpoint. Like, okay, cool. We didn't get in a car accident. I'm still headed toward my job. I'm safe. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I was able to notice that, to be able to react quick enough. I'm just going to continue on with my day and listen to my jams and just move on with your day. So if you just think about it like that, as opposed to, oh my gosh, people in LA drive like shit, this sucks, and it's like, then you're just carrying that throughout your day. You're carrying that throughout your decisions for eating healthy. You're carrying that throughout your decisions of like, I just had a shitty morning. Forget it. I'm just going to have a pizza on lunch. I was supposed to eat healthy. I was excited about it. That person, that random human being I'm never going to see again, on the 405 ruined my day. And it's like, no, don't let anyone have your power. Don't, let anyone have that much control over you. So yes, so I, said, hi, oh, wait. Hi, this is my first time listening to you, and you're in the car, and I'm trying to listen, and you're saying my issues that, are at home with the family. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if that's like a question or if you're just like a statement, but I mean, yeah, if you have issues at home with the family, you know, you can go into it with a positive mindset, with an optimal, with an optimistic mindset. So, you know, I've gone through that too, you know, and whatever the scenario is, or whatever the case is, or whatever the problem is, it's like, number one, coming at it from a calm state of mind. So if there's issues already going on and the tensions are really high, like your tensions are really high, it's just going to feed into it even more. So number one, just getting yourself right. Like, even if you have to excuse yourself to the bathroom or a place in the house where, you could be alone for a second, or if you can go into the backyard and just kind of breathe for a couple minutes, and then you go back in with a fresh mind state. And if somebody has an attitude, or somebody says something rude, or so, you know, maybe there's an argument with the spouse, or maybe the kids, you know, are just like really on level 10 with, you know, their behavior, and just kind of validating like, you know, I'm going to let them have their temper tantrum. We're going to get through it. We're going to get through our morning, and we're going to have a good rest of our day. You know, so I think that, let's see, the issue is being abused with words. The issue is being abused with words against people with family. Okay, being abused with words, treating me like trash, treating me like a slave, do this, do that. Yeah, you know, that's, I actually like went through a scenario like that too. In a particular family situation. So I empathize with you on that, and it's super tough. And I'm not sure how old you are, but I do want to say this. Nothing lasts forever, number one. So there will be a time where you won't be in this scenario, whether it's you move out, you move on. Number two, if it is a situation that you are having to deal with, where you are going to be there for a substantial amount of time, I would definitely get coaching, and I would get some kind of therapy. Get access to some way that you can have an outlet, because you'll start to learn that the abuse, you can actually put up a boundary and a shield, right? Like sometimes, like we can't control what others are doing to us. Like, we can't control the words that are coming out of their mouth, but we can control how we feel and how we receive it. So if they're being mentally abusive, being bossy, you can stand up for yourself, right? Like, you can set a boundary and say, I will not allow you to speak to me this way. If there's something that you need me to do, I'm happy to do it, but I'm going to need you to say it with some respect. And honestly, you should be able to say that to a parent. Like, you should be able to communicate with a parent. Okay, you're 63 years old. Okay, perfect. So yeah, I wasn't sure of the scenario. So yeah, so especially if you're older and you're being in this position, it sounds like if this is something that is heavily affecting you at this stage in your life, I definitely would recommend looking at different YouTubes, okay? Different YouTubes that specifically target abuse when it comes to verbal abuse and being spoken down to by family members or a spouse, or maybe spoken down to by your own children. I definitely would dig into that, because number one, you just have to have an outlet, right? Like, you can't just keep taking it, right? Like, you're gonna have to love yourself enough to, number one, learn how to set boundaries. Number two, demand how to be spoken to. And number three, do not harbor it onto yourself, onto your own energy, right? So I just want to encourage you. I think your name was, yeah, so Rick, or Mr. Diaz, I want to encourage you to really, there's so many amazing pages. Like if you literally type in how to deal with verbal abuse from family, like so many different psychiatrists and coaches will come up. But that's just like my personal advice from just like dealing with it in my own personal life. You have the power to set boundaries. You have the power to only allow what you will allow when it comes to actually intaking that energy. If they're going through that energy, um, it's like, it's almost like flip the mirror back onto them. Like they're clearly going through something if they have to communicate in that poor way, right? So again, stick up for your, especially at 63 years old, put your foot down. I will not allow you or anyone else to speak to me this way. So if there's a way that you want to communicate with me, it's going to have to be like this X, Y, and Z going forward. It's going to have to be with a kinder tone. If you have an attitude, you're going to have to calm down before you start to try to tell me what to do, whatever it is. Right. So you have to, I'm really happy that you were vulnerable enough to come on here and let me know that, but this is your sign to put your foot down and do not allow any human being to communicate, especially if they love you. It's almost like you can even push it back on them. Like, why are you talking to me this way when you love me? Do you really love me? Do you really know what love is? Being abused with words with grandkids. Oh, wow. Grandkids with the spouse telling me, I am worth nothing. When my birthday comes, tells me you don't deserve nothing for your birthday. What I would suggest is seriously, I would get with a counselor. So if you have insurance, a lot of insurances do have they do cover counseling. And if you can get to a counselor to be able to really sit in front of somebody and be able to talk about what you're going through, and they can give you tools and resources on how to deal with it. And because at the end of the day, no grandchildren should ever even feel like they can speak to you like that. No spouse should ever even feel like the fact that they even feel like they can do that means that there's no boundaries on your end. So you have to love yourself enough. You have to take pride in yourself enough to stick up for yourself and say, do not communicate with me if it's going to be this way. I'm happy to hear your feedback. I'm happy to have conversations with you. But if you're going to speak to me in this way, it's not going to work, period. So you, and you can literally not talk to them. Like you don't like, and I know, and again, if your spouse is even willing to go to counseling with you, then maybe you guys can talk through some of your issues as to, as a partnership, as to why they're even that angry or even belittling you, and to be honest with you, sir, if they're belittling you and saying you're not worth something, it's 9 times out of 10, it's because they don't feel like they're worth something. That's typically what it is. Just to be honest, usually people are projecting whatever they're going through. So they don't feel worthy. They don't feel like they deserve. They feel like they're trash. So then they're echoing it, right? They're echoing it out, and you're just taking it. You're like, where did this come from? How did we get here? And then 9 times out of 10, if the grandkids are seeing, your spouse say that to you, and then you're not putting your foot down, then it may open range for the grandkids to do that. So, and that's completely disappointing that grandkids would disrespect an elder like that. That's a whole nother conversation. But I think for you, definitely get with a coach, get with counseling. And I think that you need to release, and I think that you need to learn how to communicate, and there's different tools that you can learn to be able to do that. So again, if you want to even start today, type in on YouTube how to deal with verbal abuse from a spouse. And I'm sure there's so many different platforms that will come up that will help you out. So can I be honest with you? Can you read the comment, please? I'm getting an emotional. It might make you cry. It makes me cry now because that just be the reward. She told me I don't need you, and I don't. And I don't use words. Yeah, I mean, I just want to say that if no one's told you this, you know, you are enough. You are worthy of optimal love, right? You are, you can have any, you deserve anything that you desire on this in this lifetime. So I think that if you are, you know, being beaten down and verbally put down by a loved one, I think it's time to really get coaching. It's time to get counseling, because you can't go on like this. Especially, you know, being 63, you want to live out your golden years in a happy state of mind, right? So just to let you know that if no one's ever told you, if you never believed it, you got to start telling yourself this, and I'm telling you this. You are enough, you are worthy, um and you are deserving of optimal, you know, optimal love, optimal respect, right? You deserve to be treated with kindness. You deserve that. So, I guess 25, I laid off all back. She took a lot of money from me and account a lot of money close to. I mean, yeah, it sounds like, Rick, I really want to direct you to getting with a counselor, because if there's been verbal abuse and just even some stealing situations and things like that, you might want to explore some other options. But I don't want to misguide you or mislead you, because I've never been married. So I definitely think that there are tools out there that will help you get through exactly what you're going through. Your name is wicked. I don't feel nothing for her putting me down, and I'm just going to. Yeah, it sounds like you got to start, you can even start to like download some books, like Think and Grow Rich, right? Think and Grow Rich, or there's some amazing self-help books out there. If you just literally type in best self-help books, um even the Four Agreements really gets you in touch with love. But it sounds like, Rick, that you really need to get um get back in touch with loving yourself, because even stating that no one will ever love you again, it sounds like there's some serious work that needs to be done, some self work, some shadow work, and just re-nourishing that self love that you deserve to have for yourself, right? So yeah, so I'm starting to cook out here. The sun's starting to get out here, but I appreciate you being so vulnerable and tapping in with me. I hope something I said helped you. But again, type in on YouTube, get with your insurance and see if you can get in touch with a counselor. And I would really start there with some self-work, so you can start to work on your mindfulness with the spouse. Because I wish I could give you advice on a spouse, but I'm not married, and I don't want to encourage you to do something that isn't the right thing to do, right? So yeah. All right, guys, so I'm gonna hop off, but thank you so much for hopping in with me. I love talking about health, mindfulness, fitness, upliftment, just encouraging, you know, for us to encourage each other, and be safe as well. And like, subscribe, share, all that cool stuff. I love talking about this stuff. I'm going to be getting on live pretty much daily. So every time I'm going through a workout or on my way, you're probably going to see me in a car a lot, just because it's just easier for me to take advantage of like time in between errands and things like that. And things just kind of pop up in my mind when I'm driving too. So, and then I've, you know, park or whatever, and you might see me driving, but I do a pretty good job of like not even looking at the camera, as if it's just, you know, like a part of my dashboard. But all right, guys, we'll have a beautiful, beautiful Tuesday. Rick, I wish you the best. You are enough. You are worthy. If no one's told you that, I'm telling you that. And have a beautiful day. Bye.